And yes, finally, because after waiting for almost 10 years, CM Punk is back at WWE. And with all the surprises and the great matches, it was probably one of the best Survivor Series in history. Just listen to Triple H himself.
37 years of Survivor Series to be the biggest one ever.
So what a night! Now let's review every single match, and let's start with the first match of the night, the Women's War Games match. And it was just amazing. Bayley and Becky Lynch started the match. They went toe to toe for 5 minutes until Shotzi came second and gave the advantage to her team. Bayley even tried to defend herself with kendo sticks, but she was outnumbered by Becky Lynch and Shotzi. That was of course until Io Sky came to the ring with some metal chains and leveled the whole situation for damage control. But not for too long, because Bianca Belair came and she sent Io Sky against the trash can. 3 minutes later, Kairi Sane came to the ring, and with some help from Io Sky she landed on Shotzi, who was at that time buried beneath a lot of steel chairs. So that moment seemed like Damage Control had already regained the control of the match, until the Queen Charlotte Flair came and cleaned the house. Then a distraction from Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair allowed Io Sky to climb to the top of the cell, and oh my god, that was amazing. It was the spot of the night. She put herself inside a trash can and then threw herself, landing over all of her competitors. Wow, what a moment. And then finally we had Asuka that came to the ring and helped Damage Control regain the control of the match. And finally it seemed like Damage Control was going to win this War Games match, but they didn't look at Bianca Belair because she had a fire extinguisher and applied that thing to Asuka's face. And after that we had a spear from Charlotte Flair to Bayley, and then a KFD from Bianca Belair to also Bayley. Oh, poor Bayley. And one more thing, a manhandle slam from Becky Lynch, and she destroyed the table with Bayley's body. And with that, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Shotzi and Bianca Belair grabbed the victory. It was an amazing match. There was also another great spot from Charlotte Flair doing her moonsault from the top of the cage. And it was also great to see that Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch worked together, and they sealed that with a hug. So there are two storylines from here that actually look very interesting. What is gonna happen between Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair? Are they really friends once again? And the other thing to watch is if Bayley will be blamed by Damage Control for this loss, because that would open the door for Bayley being kicked out of Damage Control. Very interesting, and let's see what happens in the upcoming weeks. Oh, and you were not expecting this because we had another great return at Survivor Series. Yeah, do you know who I'm talking about? The greatest 24/7 champion in WWE history, R-Truth! Yeah, he was back and he was hanging out with the Alpha Academy, so great to have R-Truth back at WWE. Now let's see what happened between The Miz and Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. A really awesome match. I really loved the fight that The Miz gave, and he was pretty smart also by attacking Gunther's knee. But of course the ring general Gunther replied with brutality. And well, for a moment The Miz was just hanging in there, and even there he survived Gunther's powerbomb, so Gunther just couldn't believe it. But The Miz had another opening, and when he distracted the referee, he used that moment to land 2 massive low blows to Gunther, and then he applied his skull-crushing finale. But it was not enough, and he was about to apply a second skull-crushing finale, but Gunther defended himself and applied his own submission maneuver. The Miz didn't want to tap out, and then Gunther put more pressure with his knee, and so finally The Miz had to surrender. It was a really great match. I didn't like The Miz having to tap out, but it was a great match and he was cheered by the WWE Universe. So maybe we can see a rematch tell me if you would like to see a rematch. But for now, Gunther remains the Intercontinental Champion. Now to the match between Santos Escobar and Dragon Lee. It was a really great match, high flying, very dynamic, very fast. And at one point it seemed like Dragon Lee was going to win this. But then Santos Escobar with a destroyer and his Phantom Driver was able to finally win the match. And it's a great result because this Santos Escobar heel has a lot of potential. And I really want to see what's next for him. Now let's see what happened between Rhea Ripley and Zoey Stark for the Women's World Championship. And Zoey Stark really put on a great show. A great effort from her. And I think she was the MVP of this match. She was the one that took a lot more risks, but sadly at the end it didn't pay off. And at the end it was time for Mommy Rhea Ripley to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. But certainly Zoey Stark deserves a second chance, and she has a lot of potential to one day become the World Heavyweight Championship. So now to the main event, the Men's War Games match. Wow, what an amazing performance from every single man. And it all started between Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. 5 minutes throwing everything at each other. And after 5 minutes, JD McDonagh came with kendo sticks and they both started to attack Seth Rollins back. But 3 minutes later, Jey Uso came to the ring and helped Seth Rollins. And it seemed like they were in control once again after 3 minutes later, Damian Priest came to the ring. And with a metal bar in his hand, he attacked everybody. But 3 minutes later, Sami Zayn entered the ring and he was able to level the match. And they even regained the advantage. Until of course 3 minutes later it was time for Drew McIntyre. And he destroyed everyone in the ring. Oh, and it was time for sweet revenge. Because Drew went after Jey Uso and destroyed him. That was of course until 3 minutes later Cody Rhodes came running to the ring and leveled the things. Cody and Seth worked together despite not wanting to do that. And it seemed like they were in control once again. And now it was time for Dominic Mysterio, the last man for the Judgment Day. And he helped the Judgment Day regain control of the match. And Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest started destroying everyone. And 3 minutes passed and there was no one from the other team to appear. Even Mommy Rhea Ripley came to the ring running with the Money in the Bank briefcase, and it all appeared that Damian Priest was going to cash in. And at that very moment Randy Orton the Viper finally appeared. He entered the match. A body slam to Mysterio, a body slam to McDonagh, an RKO to Mysterio, and then the whole team doing Randy's trademark DDT. And JD McDonagh was all alone. He tried to escape the cage, but Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn grabbed him. They threw McDonagh from the top of the cage and RKO out of nowhere. Probably the most amazing RKO from nowhere that you have seen in your life. Oh, poor JD McDonagh. Amazing Randy Orton. And finally Cody Rhodes grabbed Damian Priest and applied his crossroads. And yes, that was it. 1, 2 and 3. And Orton, Rhodes, Rollins, Sami Zayn and Jey Uso grabbed the victory. Wow, what a match. I really loved the match, but somehow I still felt that something was missing. And WWE was already about to end the show. And yes, oh my god, what a moment. The cult of personality started to sound. And the WWE Universe at Chicago went crazy. Because yes, they were not dreaming. It was CM Punk right there at Chicago. What an amazing moment, probably the return of the year. Something that we have been expecting for so many years, finally it was CM Punk. But I have to tell you, not everybody was happy. Because it seems like after Survivor Series went off the air, Seth Rollins was really angry at CM Punk. Wow, this storyline between CM Punk and Seth Rollins is gonna be just great. Come on, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And that's it for today. If you like, please share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.